Are you wondering if it's even possible to teach reading comprehension strategies to your emergent readers? Well, of course it is. And if you're interested in learning how to teach those specific reading strategies, keep on watching. Hey there, if you're new here, my name is Anna. I was a teacher for 23 years, and on this channel, I provide professional development videos to teachers to help them improve their craft by learning the tips and strategies for rigorous and streamlined small group instruction. So if these are the types of videos that interest you, please remember to click that subscribe button and that little bell right next to it so that you get alerted every time I put up a new video every single Sunday. So let's jump into the content and talk today about reading comprehension strategies for those emergent readers in your classroom. Again, if you're wondering if it's even possible to teach reading comprehension strategies to your emergent readers, I promise you it is. Emergent readers that are reading at levels A through Z rely heavily on the semantic cueing system, using the pictures that they see to make meaning in the books that they're reading. Emergent readers are ready to learn the Eagle Eye reading comprehension strategy. So let me quickly show you. These are my strategy fans. So these are my larger strategy fans, which are my teaching modeling strategy fans, okay? And these are my smaller ones that I make for my students. So I have the larger ones for my display teaching, and I have the smaller strategy fans for my students. So each one can have a strategy fan when I'm teaching the strategies. All right, so let's jump in. The key to teaching comprehension strategies is to use engaging activities that really spark meaningful learning and help your students understand and connect with the text that they're reading. And this really applies, of course, to all readers, no matter what reading level they have or that they're reading on. So have you ever caught yourself reading a book or a blog post or whatever and realize you have absolutely no idea what you've just read? I just do that all the time. Even fluent, capable adult readers can experience moments of struggle with reading comprehension. Usually it's because we have 8,000 things on our brain, right? So it's natural that when young children are first learning to read, comprehension can be a struggle. That's why the reading comprehension strategies that you teach during your whole group instruction and in your guided reading lesson groups, they have to be activities that provide real deep instruction. And you can also do that during your literacy stations as well. All of those areas it's so important for you to bring reading comprehension into all different things your students are doing. It's all about the spark. So you can ignite that spark of learning by teaching comprehension strategies to your emergent readers. You can do this, I promise. It's important, though, to remember that students at the emergent level need plenty of time to concentrate on learning sight words, the sight words that they have to learn, and of course, the basics of decoding. But you should begin to introduce a few simple comprehension strategies as well. You can teach these strategies in a series of whole group lessons, because I always introduced during whole group as well. But then what you want to do is you want to reinforce those lessons and model them even more and practice them over and over and over again during your small group guided reading instruction. So to help your emergent readers build a basic foundation for comprehension, first you have to teach and model the strategy of using pictures to monitor for meaning. That's so important. We want our students to monitor for meaning. So since emergent readers rely so heavily on the pictures in the books that they read, this is the first strategy you should introduce to the students in your small group instruction. So we're going to break out our strategy fans, and we are going to focus on the strategy called Eagle Eye. Let me get to it. Here it is. We're going to focus on Eagle Eye today. freak out our strategy fans, and we are going to learn about the comprehension strategy called Eagle Eye. That's this one right here. That's the first strategy we're going to focus on when we're teaching our reading comprehension skills. So as your students look at the pages of a book, your little emergent readers have the ability to use pictures as sources of information. When it comes to the 3 cueing systems, emergent readers rely almost exclusively on meaning or semantic cues. You know how when we're taking those running records, that's what we're talking about. An illustration can help an emergent reader construct the meaning from a page of a text. You know that, regardless of how simple that meaning may be. That's where Eagle Eye comes into play. To make it more fun or encouraging as you teach, you could always use like a stuffed animal and get a little eagle stuffed animal to help as a visual. You could pass that little animal around. And of course, you're always going to use these strategy plans because it's going to give your students the visual prompts that they need to help them to remember to use each of these strategies for decoding and comprehension that we're going to teach them over time. And each of the lessons in my guided readers program, that's my new guided reading program, each of them contains a strategy fan, of course, template to help you teach these strategies to your students. And like I said, you can print them out for your students. I have a small one for the students and a large one for me, and this will help guide your teaching. So now what I want to do is I want to look at how we're going to use the strategy fans to teach the comprehension strategy of Eagle Eye. And I want to start by using one of our books. So we're going to start by having the students open up their strategy fans to Eagle Eye. And of course, they're going to have their new book in front of them. This book is called Opposites. And we're going to introduce Eagle Eye first by having a discussion about how eagles have excellent eyesight, just like them. And you're going to explain that their new friend, Eagle Eye, loves to look really, really closely at the pictures on the page of a book that he's reading to help him figure out the words on the page. So tell them that when they're reading a new book, they should use their eagle eyes to look at the pictures because the pictures will help them understand the words on the page. The next thing you're going to do is you want to read what it says on the strategy fan. So let's look at Eagle Eye. Everybody look at your Eagle Eye on your strategy fan. So everyone's open up on their strategy fan to Eagle Eye as I'm demonstrating it on my larger fan. So I'm going to say, okay, boys and girls, let's look at Eagle Eye. Eagle Eye teaches us to look at the pictures closely, really closely, to see if we can figure out what the words are. So that's what we want to read to them. We want to read exactly what's on our strategy fan. And then we want to tell them to ask themselves, does that word make sense? Does it make sense with what we're looking at on the picture? Does it make sense with what we said? Does that word sound right and make sense? So that's what we want to talk about. We want to show them to look at the Eagle Eye strategy fan and also read what it says and have them read along with me as I read it to them, because clearly these words are going to be too difficult for our emergent readers to read. But we do want to show them what these words say on the strategy fan. And then you'll say, remember, boys and girls, when you look at the picture with your eagle eye, it's very important to ask yourself, does this word make sense in the sentence? And does it match the picture on the page? That's what you want to ask yourself. Does this word make sense? And does it match the picture? That's what Eagle Eye helps us to do. Now, let's look at how we might use Eagle Eye as a strategy in our small group emergent readers group. So we're going to use this book called Opposites. This is a book from my guided readers program, guidedreaders.com if you want to check it out. And what we're going to do is after we use our lesson plan, after we go through the first parts of our lesson plan, the first part of our lesson plan, of course, during the emergent reading group is our sight word instruction. That's what we always do first. So we start with our sight word instruction, and then we move into the book introduction, and then we do a preview and predict. So sometimes what I will do is I'll teach a strategy possibly before we go into reading of the book, because it depends on the strategy I'm teaching. Now, because I want to teach Eagle Eye today, I don't want us to do a picture walk, and I don't want us to have a discussion, because I want to teach the concept of Eagle Eye and using Eagle Eye to help us figure out the words on the page. So what I want to do first is, before I go into our book discussion and do a picture walk and go into my vocabulary intro, I don't want to do that yet. I want to teach my strategy first. Again, because I'm teaching Eagle Eye strategy, I'm doing this strategy first. If you see that on my lesson plan, my strategy instruction is down here. But because I'm teaching using Eagle Eye, and that's using the pictures to understand, figure out the words on the page, that's why I'm going to do this strategy instruction first before we dive into the book, because it's about using pictures on the page to help us figure out words. So if I teach that strategy towards the end of the lesson, it really won't make sense, because they'll already know the words in the book. Of course, I don't necessarily have to use the book. I can use sentence strips to do this same exact strategy as well. So let's take a look. This is how I will typically teach Eagle Eye. As you can see, I have our book open. This book is called Opposites. I will tell them the title of the book, especially if it's too hard for them to read. And then I'll say, okay, boys and girls, let's open our book to page 2. Let's see what's happening in this picture. I want to show you a really close-up picture of what's going on here. See those pictures of what's going on? Okay, so now I'm going to say, boys and girls, let's look at this picture. Let's use our Eagle Eye and closely look at that picture. I want you to take about 20 seconds and really look closely at that picture and figure out what's going on in the picture. What do we see? So I'll say to maybe each student, I'll say, Johnny, tell me something that you see in this picture. What are you noticing? He might say, it's sunny. Great. How do you know it's sunny? Well, there's the sun. How do you know it's sunny, Samantha? Well, he's wearing sunglasses. Great. What else do you notice? Well, there's a little drip coming down his face. What do you think that means? Well, it probably means he's sweating. I wonder why he's sweating. And then he's pulling his collar away from his neck. Why do you think he's doing that? And we have a discussion just about the picture, because again, Eagle Eye is teaching us to look really closely at the pictures. So we have a discussion about this picture. And I say, okay, boys and girls, now that we really looked closely at this picture, we know it's sunny. He's wearing a sun hat. He's got sunglasses on. He's got a little bead of sweat dripping down his face. He's pulling his collar away from his neck. Now that we've really looked at that picture closely, let's look at the sentence down below. And I'll say, boys and girls, notice I have a word covered. Do you see that? So I like to use these little post-it notes. I don't even know these. I think they're called flags. And then I would also use the smaller ones. These are like the 1 inch by whatever. So I like to use these when I'm covering words. It's just really easy. So I'm going to say, okay, boys and girls, let's start to read that sentence. He is blank. Now, let's be Eagle Eyes. We see what's happening. We know he's sweating. It's sunny. He's got sunglasses, a sun hat. He's pulling that shirt away from his face. What do you think this boy is? He is what? What do you think? And get some answers. Start to have them use the picture to help them figure out words that they can't even see yet. I don't even want them to look at the words. And then you know for sure someone's going to say hot. So then I'm going to say, okay, boys and girls, let's take a look. Let's take this little tab off and see what word is hiding under here. And let's try and read that word again, that sentence again. He is, what word do you think that is? Hot. Now say, let's, boys and girls, let's stretch that word out. Let's say each sound. Ah, t. Let's do that again. Ah, t. Hot. Very good. He is hot. Boys and girls, did you see that you knew the word hot before we even read the word? Because You were eagles, and you used your eagle eye to figure out the word on the page before you even knew the word on the page. And that's how eagle eye helps you. Then I'll say, boys and girls, what's going on this page? Now that we know what's going on this page, what's going on over here? What do you notice that is happening? Let's talk about it. Let's see what we notice, and let's use our eagle eye. And we're going to go through the same process. I might do this with 2 or 3 pages of this book because I want to teach the concept of eagle eye and looking really, really closely at the pictures and looking for those clues. We want to talk about the clues using the pictures. That's how eagle eye helps us. And then we'll go over and we'll say, what's happening? What is she wearing? How does she look? How do you know? We're going to look at all of those clues, and we're going to use our eagle eye to figure out what's going on. And then, of course, after we talk about it and we really use those clues and use our eagle eye to help us, then we go into the sentence. We start with the beginning, and then we take off the Post-it flag and we go into the word. And we have eagle eye help us figure out the words on the page. Now again, you're going to do the same thing on the pages going forward. Again, I might do this with 2 or 3 pages because I don't want to do it on every page. I want them to use the strategy. So for the rest of the book, they will use the eagle eye strategy to help them with the rest of the pages on the book. Now, before I start this reading group, I actually might cover every word on the page for this group because I want them to use eagle eye. Now, sometimes I will, maybe I won't. It really depends. Maybe I'll do it on the first 4 or 5 pages, and then the rest of the pages, I'll let them use eagle eye without the words being covered. Because really, if I'm teaching eagle eye during this particular reading group, I want to make sure that they're really practicing it. And the only way they're going to practice it is if I have those words covered and it forces them to be eagles. It forces them to use their eagle eyesight and focus on the clues in the picture. So, eagle eye is the most basic comprehension strategy, and it's such an important tool for your emergent readers. This simple strategy will really, really help you to strike that spark of learning with this group as you teach them to really open their eyes and look at the pictures in the book they're reading. So if striking this spark of learning is your goal, then I'm urging you to check out Guided Readers. Guided Readers is our new online guided reading program that will provide you with everything you need to get you going with guided reading. And to be honest, I've had so many positive comments from teachers who are just loving what the online guided reading program has to offer. They're just over the moon excited about the engaging books that we offer, the professionally illustrated texts that we give them, fiction and nonfiction, and of course, all of the resources that go with them. And we also have a digital interactive reader. And you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to just quickly switch over and show you a really, really quick example of what the digital reader looks like. And just to let you know, all of our books, every single one of our books in Guided Readers is professionally leveled by Fountas and Pinnell and Lexile. It's hard for you to see it, but on the back of the book, we have the Lexile level and the Fountas and Pinnell level. These are officially leveled by Fountas and Pinnell and Lexile. I am a certified partner with both of those companies, and they level our books for us. So you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to switch over super quick, and I just want to show you an example of what Guided Readers looks like so you can see how you can use Guided Readers to your benefit. So let me switch over my screen and show you super quick how that works. Here we go. Let's take a look. This is what the Guided Readers program looks like when you sign into your bookshelf. And of course, you're going to have a student manager so you can assign levels to your students. But what you want to do is you want to go to your bookshelf, and there are over 500 books right now. We add about 20 books every week. We add over 80 books per month onto the site. So let's say you want to do an emergent book and we need a level B emergent book. You can sort them by F&P level or Lexile level. And here we have tons of level B books for you to choose from. And just to give you a little peek at what the digital reader looks like, this is what it looks like. So when you open it up, you can actually hear, you're going to turn the pages. I'm actually going to turn this volume up.
Donnie is going to stop. Donnie is going to stop.
So this, sorry, when I put that on, you could hear an echo. So this is what the digital reader looks like for the students. Now, this is my version of it as a teacher, but for the students' version, they not can only listen to the story, they can take a quiz, but they can also record themselves reading. So this is just the teacher's version of it. When the students log in, as a student login, they can actually record themselves reading as well. So if you were doing, let's say, Donnie's job, you can go to the materials page, and here are all the materials for you: the lesson plan, the printables, the running record, the Google Classroom, all the instructional tools. It tells you what Donnie's job is all about. It tells you what your comprehension focus will be for this particular story. And it gives you, again, the Lexile level and the Fontes and Pinnell level. And what you're going to do when you click Manage, this allows you to also assign this book to students. I'm logged in as an administrator, but it allows you to assign your students this book. So you can assign this to each of your students in that particular group. It's an incredible platform that gives you so much flexibility in providing guided reading instruction. And again, when you go to your main bookshelf, you can sort by Lexile or by Fontes and Pinnell. And if you want to get a J book, here are your J books. You want to get an L book for your transitional readers, you just go and you sort by L books. And if you want to sort by comprehension strategy, you can sort that right up here. You can look for inferencing or main idea or character traits, and it will bring up the books that you have available to you. So if you look at the materials page, I'll show you a quick thing, and you go down here and you say, okay, this particular book called Arjun's Lunchbox teaches summarizing. I also want to see what other books we have on summarizing. So if I click that, it shows me all of the other books that teach summarizing. So I just wanted to give you just a quick little picture of what guided readers looks like. And you can check that out at guidedreaders.com, and all of these resources are available to you. Currently, right now, at the taping of this video, we have levels A through Q on guided readers. But over the next four or 5 months, this was recorded in January of 2020. So if you're watching this 2 years later, I can assure you we'll have all the way up through level Z readers. But we add, again, over 80 books every month. So I really, really hope that you check out guided readers, because I've got you covered when it comes to efficient and effective guided reading instruction. And as you know, I was a teacher for 23 years. So that's a lot of guided reading instruction over the last 23 years. So I hope you found this video helpful. Again, we are going to go deep into learning about all the strategies in our strategy fan. So this is just one of the videos to teach you how to teach Eagle Eye strategy. Over the next few videos, I am going to show you how to teach all of the other strategies in your strategy fan. So I hope you'll join me and you'll watch those other videos to come. And remember, please click that subscribe button and that little bell next to it so that you're alerted every time a new video goes live on Sunday. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now, guys.